to this meaningful event. And I really enjoyed talking to Minji, and also I enjoyed listening to the insights of young students, and also from the technical company, and also the civil society and the government. And,
So first of all, I would like to thank all the organizers of this forum for inviting me, but also particularly thank all the officers and representatives from all associations and organizations who are present here. It was a very great honor for me to be part of this forum and to have this experience, and I hope to see you next time.
Well, first of all, I appreciate your preparation for this WFF 2022, and I really liked being here and listen to other perspective of opinions and the way they see the food shortage. And thank you again, and I'd like to be here again next time. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me this forum, even though I'm not young. Thank you for inviting me as a panelist. It's wonderful to discuss with young generation. Thank you.
First, thanks to all the organizers for preparing this forum and actually run this forum. And thank you to Xiun. We actually had a short time, but it was, you have to prepare hard and actually write a script or talk about our projects a lot. And it was a great time to prepare and actually have a discussion in this forum. As a freshman, I didn't expect that I can speak in this big forum and talk about the activities that we've organized well. And that's actually thanks to this Hang-Young Lee, our CDC teacher, and also Taeyong, who is our president of the project group. Yeah, thanks to all of them.
Yeah, I think after listening to that, I'd be remiss not to reciprocate my thanks to Sojan as well for really helping me out a lot throughout this process. It was an incredible experience meeting with her, speaking with her, and really learning more about KSDG builders and the initiatives that were going on really right next door to my school, George Mason University. And of course also, as was mentioned by all of the other speakers, many thanks to the representatives from the FAO and the various other organizations that really made this event possible. I would also like to thank all of the people from my organization, Philippine Service Learning, whether they're in Rome right now. I know our president is in Rome, Sayan Yan, also our organization supervisor, Ms. Luzaraga, for really making all of this possible, as well as all of the club members watching online, watching our live stream online. I think really this experience was very unique for me as well as a high school senior. The fact that I was able to stand on the same stage and platform as so many specialists and experts and professionals who really have that knowledge that even though I can't bring, I hope that I was able to bring at least a little bit of that youth perspective that some of the presenters were talking about. And I hope, I think I can safely say that for me personally, watching and listening to all of these presentations, I was really inspired to really continue pursuing these initiatives and my passion in this field. And hopefully, maybe like 20, 30 years in the future, once I become an adult, I can also stand on the stage and be someone who can inspire younger students like I am right now.
Okay, I was so impressed that the younger generations have so much interest in agricultural improvements. So, well, I would like to thank you for FAO to having me and having Green Life such a great place to speak out how important that the agriculture business has to improve, not just for the nation, but globally. So, yeah, I look forward to seeing the people, like the guys who have just participated today, be like somebody or be like innovators or a successful person in agricultural business in the future.
First of all, thank you for all the FAO's members, and it was a great honor for me to participate in this World Food Forum, and it was an honor to meet all of the members of our forum. First of all, it was very nice to meet all of the people who have knowledge about all of the food products and making better earth. So it was a very nice opportunity for me to grow my bigger inspirations and also for my future. Thank you.
What it is in international market, and that means you just for your domestic or locally consumption and marketing. Third, first policy and strategy that increase productivity, efficiently, and sustainably for our planet and climate. Our focus has to be on transforming ecosystems to be more efficient, more inclusive, more resilient, and more sustainable.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you to our friends in Korea, 감사합니다. I am so excited to see you all this morning, everyone in the room with us, and everyone connecting online from everywhere in the world. If you're joining us online, first things first, we wish you were here. But since you aren't, please let us know in the chat where you are tuning in from. Welcome again to this session. Everybody here, you guys look beautiful. We will be together for 1 whole hour this morning. And to kick off the youth component of the World Food Forum, round of applause. As you know, youth and World Food Forum are synonymous. It is just 1 hour, but I want it to be one of the best hours of your life, no pressure. I will be here for you for the entire time. We're going to be hearing from some amazing people. It's such a pleasure to be here, and I hope you will enjoy the session as much as I will. My name is Dr. Rachel V. Brown, and I will be your moderator for the next hour. We have a special program planned for you to introduce you to this year's theme for the forum, Healthy Diets, Healthy Planet. We did this yesterday, so when I say healthy diets, I want you to say healthy planet, healthy diets. Good. So we are kicking things off the right way and starting the week with both information and inspiration for all of you. First off, as a mise en bouche to set the scene, we are welcoming 3 incredible women to the stage. We love to see women in the lead, right? Right? Yeah. I was like, right? They will be sharing truly meaningful and necessary words. I don't know about you, but I'm grateful we get the chance to have such important conversations. Beth Beckdahl, FAO Deputy Director General, will be the first to join me on stage. In her role, she continues her service to food and agriculture, now on a global scale. She is responsible for FAO's partnership and outreach work, including partnerships and UN collaboration, resource mobilization, and private sector partnerships, South-South, and triangular cooperation. She also leads programs in the area of plant production and protection and oversees FAO's main technical advisory committee on agriculture. Beth, you're doing a lot. It's a lot. Oh, God. The Committee on Agriculture, COAG, as well as the International Plant Protection Convention, IPPC Secretariat. Beth has been invested in the World Food Forum from the very start of the adventure, and she will fittingly share opening words with us this morning. She'll be followed by Lydia Bertwissel-Sawyer, Head of Stakeholder Engagement for COP26, who has worked closely with various actors, including youth last year. She'll speak on the role of young people at COP26, as well as the food system agenda as we head towards COP27 in 3 weeks. After these 2 great interventions, we will welcome Kim Anastasiou, a member of the Young Scientist Group, for an introduction on this year's theme for the World Food Forum. As I mentioned before, the theme is Healthy Diets, Healthy Planet. So healthy diets? Great. Kim is a PhD candidate at Deakin University and a research dietitian at the CSIRO, Australia's National Science Agency. Her research is focused on understanding and improving the health and environmental impacts of the food system. Kim is also an advocate for the role of young people in creating sustainable and healthy food systems and was a youth liaison for the 2021 United Nations Food System Summit. That was a lot. Oh gosh, you guys are awesome. I know, buckle up and get ready for something amazing. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you're well awake and warmed up. All of you online, do a quick stretch. Get ready with us. Beth, the floor is all yours. Thank you.
First, Rachel. Oh, that was spectacular. Thank you so much to all of you for being here on behalf of the World Food Forum and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Welcome to the 2nd annual World Food Forum Flagship Event. It's an honor to be here with you for the 2nd time. And I hope, I'm looking to some of our organizers, that I might be lucky enough to be invited back the 3rd time. Let's hope. We've kicked off a week of amazing events focusing on game-changing ways of working together and thinking together. This week is designed to spark dialogue, to spark debate, and to inspire concrete actions across generations, but also across sectors of the world. So why are we here this week? First, there is an urgent need for change. We cannot wait any longer to take this global situation seriously. I am sure that we are all aware of the growing list of crises that are currently threatening global food security. There's the climate crisis and associated natural disasters. We still aren't out of the COVID pandemic, no matter how many times we think we can say it's over. There are conflicts and there is war in Ukraine. These have all combined to create extra burden on our global agri-food systems, putting significant pressure on the availability, accessibility, and now increasingly on the affordability of healthy diets. And I think we fail to also realize how interconnected our world really is. This year, the World Food Forum's theme is healthy diets. Think about it. The way we produce our food affects the health of the planet and also the availability of safe and nutritious foods. And for those of us who are fortunate enough to be able to choose, our dietary choices have a direct link to the health of the planet, whether that's through their environmental impacts, resource use, or greenhouse gas emissions. You've already heard speakers talk about food systems. Others talk about food value chains. Some people talk about agribusiness and industry sectors. But here in FAO, I'm here to talk to you about agri-food systems. And if you are familiar with FAO's work, you would have already heard us advocate for a transformation of agri-food systems. But why agri-food systems? The important difference is that agri-food systems acknowledge the contribution of agriculture, of farming, from the field to the table. It covers planting, it covers harvesting, storing, processing, transporting, until it reaches us, until it reaches you. As FAO, we are focusing and trying to use our expertise to transform different components of our agri-food systems, where we can have the greatest impact. We use data and policy analysis, science and innovation, international standard setting, and emergency, humanitarian, and development support in the places around the world where it is needed most. Our highest priority is the most vulnerable in these communities. And they are predominantly small-scale producers, including indigenous peoples and women producers. Think about this. Many times in these emergency crisis settings, it's farmers. It's people who live in rural communities and rural lands, the very people who produce our food, who struggle to feed themselves and their families. We are working so farmers can be profitable, so that they can have enough food to eat, and we can have enough food to eat, and most importantly, that that food is affordable and contributes to healthy diets. Despite our efforts and those of our many partners, though, the challenges are immense and highly complex. And too many people are being left behind. This is why we need to work together and why your participation here is so important. We need everyone to engage to create change. This week, you will have the opportunity to meet and talk about what we need to build a better future, a sustainable, resilient, and inclusive agri-food system. And we want to hear from you, not only as youth, but as professionals. Professionals in your different areas of expertise and experience. At FAO, we understand that in order to accelerate action and change, we have to build partnerships. We can't work alone any longer. We have to move from theory to learning what actually works on the ground and sharing this with others. That's why this year, the World Food Forum is bringing together its Global Youth Forum, acknowledging the critical voice of young men and women in fostering sustainability, equity, and resilience of agri-food systems. We also are featuring this week the FAO Science and Innovation Forum, recognizing the centrality of science, technology, and innovation for agri-food systems transformation. And we are also hosting a first ever FAO hand-in-hand investment forum, recognizing that we have to build partnerships and bring investments together to ensure that these transformations can be implemented in all the right countries. So if I can sum up my message to you today and leave you with a few things, it would be these. First, please, let's not wait any longer to bring about this change. We really are running out of time. Second, it is within our power to transform agri-food systems. We have all the knowledge, we have all the data, we have all the research, we have all the resources. We just have to bring it together. And third, you and I have a very important role to play. Collaboration between our generations, because I wish I was in your generation, but I'm not. Collaboration between our generations is a must. I hope that in the coming days, all of you take this opportunity to form connections, build friendships, listen to new perspectives, and find new ways to collaborate. We heard it in last night's theme song on this very stage. If we want a better world, we need this generation to find better ways. Let's commit to this in the week ahead, but more importantly, let's keep this as our North Star long into the future. Thanks, Rachel, for letting me be here with you for the kickoff of the World Food Forum and the Youth Forum. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Ooh. I told you guys it was going to be amazing. Are you feeling good? Feeling inspired? But the most important question is, are you feeling ready? Are you ready? Yeah? You guys are like, yeah. Thank you, Beth. I would like to now invite Lydia to the stage. Lydia, so excited.
Good morning, and thank you, Rachel, for such a warm welcome. I'm here to deliver a message from COP26, and we are now in the final weeks of the COP26 presidency. It has been a near 3-year journey in the thick of international politics, and we are still facing a climate crisis. Much of the evidence suggests that we are running out of time to avert a climate catastrophe. Extreme weather events, swathes of continents becoming unlivable, mass food and water insecurity. We are already seeing glimpses of what this could look like. In the recent months, an area the size of the United Kingdom, where I am from, has been flooded in Pakistan. Many of the survivors now are facing severe food shortages. Millions of people in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia are facing the worst drought in 40 years. The increasing frequency and ferocity of these extreme weather events is no coincidence, as averting further climate change and building sustainable and healthy food systems are two sides of the same coin. In other words, healthy diets.
Healthy planets.
At COP26, we closed the Paris rulebook and we made progress on all the work streams that had underpinned COPs for a quarter of the century. Prior to the Paris Agreement, the world was on a path to get to 4 degrees of global warming against pre-industrial levels. But after COP26 in Glasgow, we could say with some credibility that we had kept 1.5 degrees alive. There's no doubt in my mind that young people set the right conditions for COP26 to be a success. They lobbied governments, they protested on the streets of Glasgow, they made their voices heard. Of course, the pact is nothing with just only words on a page if it is not implemented. And the pulse of 1.5 degrees will remain weak until the pact is delivered in full. On that, I want to specifically turn to the role of young people in the room and the virtual room, and youth in climate action. The Glasgow Climate Pact urges countries to meaningfully engage with young people at the local, national, and international levels. But what does that mean in practice? Well, it means that we need young people in forums like this one today and at COP27, making their voices heard and speaking truth to power. We need governments to engage with young people in designing and implementing policies that affect their futures. And we need better recognition of the role of young people in locally led adaptation efforts, which is so crucial in averting food insecurity. But action does not need to be on the streets. It doesn't need to be at COPs. It can be in the decisions we make every day, such as our diets. Better agri-food systems can be built on innovation. Last week I read that, dollar for dollar, the investments in the alternative meat and dairy industry deliver 11 times better greenhouse gas reductions than those in the zero electric vehicles. But it also should incorporate indigenous knowledge. Indigenous food systems hold the key to feeding humanity whilst deterring soil degradation and biodiversity loss. By centering indigenous knowledge, we can transform our food systems and create a healthier planet for all. There is no silver bullet to climate change, but food systems are a large piece of that puzzle. I encourage you all today and online to run towards the heart of the climate debate on both sides of the aisle at the national and the subnational levels, and continue scaling up action you are already undertaking to transform agri-food systems, from local to the global level, from projects to advocacy. Youth action is crucial. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sel. Thank you.
Youth action is indeed crucial. Thanks so much for these interesting and crucial insights, Lydia. Already encouraging us to look forward to COP27. Kim, you are up next. Please join us on stage. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Rachel.
I'm going to hug you after, okay?
Okay. And thank you so much, everyone here today, for the opportunity to speak and to introduce this year's theme of healthy diets,
healthy planet.
Amazing. This theme is really important as it acknowledges that we aren't just here to talk about food that comes on a plate in front of us. Actually, we are here this week to discuss the world's most pressing challenges: climate change, biodiversity loss, war, famine, poverty, gender inequality, racial inequalities, Indigenous rights, chronic diseases, and even our most recent global pandemic. Food systems are central to the causes of these problems, but they are also central to the solutions. Addressing these global challenges without changing the food system is simply not possible. The food system is responsible for approximately 1/3 of global greenhouse gas emissions, approximately 70% of freshwater use. It uses over 1/3 of our global land mass and is also the largest driver of biodiversity loss around the world. But despite using all of these environmental resources, in 2021, 2.3 billion people in the world were food insecure. That's approximately 1/3 of our world's population, and often, as we heard earlier, the same people who are actually providing the rest of the world with food. Globally, chronic diseases such as cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes are the leading cause of death, and this is exacerbated by the proliferation of unhealthy foods such as ultra-processed foods, which have infiltrated our communities across the globe. These disproportionately impact those people who are already disadvantaged, and that includes a lot of young people like those in the room today and beyond in the world. Not only that, but young people in generations to come will face even bigger challenges and crises than those that we see today if we don't have real and meaningful, urgent policy changes and action. The good news, though, is that food systems hold the power to nourish us. They hold the power to support good health, to build relationships with our natural environment, to bridge social gaps, connect with one another. Young people know this, and we are not standing still. Youth have been speaking up. We've already heard about COP26. We're involved in a plethora of activities across the world, from global climate strikes to strong engagement in events such as the UN Food Systems Summit last year, which saw over 100 youth dialogues held across the globe. But there's a real power imbalance that is occurring right now. Young people, we can make changes in our own lives, and we are. But we really need powerful allies by our side if we want to see real systemic change. Policymakers don't just need to listen, they need to act, and they need to act now. We've already heard today how urgent this is. So as youth, we can't make these actions alone. We need help. We need policy changes which support young farmers to produce and deliver healthy foods and not just sell ingredients to multinational conglomerates. We need policies that support everyone to have access to healthy and nutrition foods, which, by the way, was the top priority in the 2021 Act for Food, Act for Change campaign, which involved over 100,000 young people across the globe. And we need to make real changes to reduce the production and consumption and availability of foods which degrade our health, the environment, and our social eating practices, including foods such as ultra-processed foods. And these actions can't be put on individuals alone. Young people, we're acutely aware of the impact of the marketing of unhealthy foods which we've experienced since birth. We've been bombarded with price discounting schemes, availability of ultra-processed foods in every single corner of our lives, and the difficulties in accessing healthy and sustainable fresh fruits and vegetables. And these impacts are only worsening in the current food price crisis. Some of the testimonies you'll hear this week and today will describe community and systems-based changes that can be made. Let's consider how these initiatives can be scaled up, supported by policymakers, and developed into large-scale changes that we can actually implement across the world. And throughout the week, instead of focusing just on individual actions, which we are already doing as young people because we have to, and everyone here knows that, I encourage you to talk and discuss the systemic policy changes that we can make to create an equitable, healthy, and sustainable food system so that we do have healthy planets and healthy diets. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you. I don't know about you all, but I'm shocked to hear that 1/3 of the world was food insecure last year. That's that's like 1/3 of this room. That's crazy. That's a lot of people. Now we will be moving into the second segment of this event with a panel discussion. I know you all want to hear more from them. But before that, let's see a quick video summarizing this year's theme. Let me see if you guys remember. Healthy diets. One more time. Healthy diets. Great. All right. So tune into the video.
We are so committed to put together the truly youth-led platform to transform our food system. And for me, and I guess for everyone else here, this is a clear indication that to build better food systems, young people must be leading the way. We still have time and energy to bring about change for the better, for better production, better nutrition, better environment, better life, and why not, for a better future. A future in which the rest of the world focuses on eliminating barriers such as finance, land, and information that prevent young people from meaningfully engaging in different components of food system, and a future in which you and me and those who will come after us will inherit food systems that are better for the health of people, animals, plants, and the planet.
Heartfelt thanks again to our three first guests for this introduction. I think it set the scene just right for what comes next. I'm joined here this morning by 5 lovely guests coming from all across the world. I'm so excited. I know. So, they look a lot different, but you'll see what they have in common. Well, they're all united by their engagement to transform our agri-food systems towards a healthy diet and a great. Their engagement within their respective communities is not only inspiring, it is change-making. It felt very crucial for us to bring them in front of you and give them a space to share their stories, their values, and their passions, the obstacles they have had to overcome sometimes, and inspire all of us to become beacons of change in our own communities, because we can. So beautiful people here and around the world, please put your hands together, even virtually, put your hands together. I'm watching you. Please help me welcome Mike, Alessia, Eric, Jim, and Daniela with a roaring round of applause. Hey, Jim. Hi. You look great. All right, let's get this party started. Mike, where's Mike? He's in the audience, right? Nope. Oh, Mike! Hi, Mike.
Hello, Rachel.
I was like, I couldn't see you yet. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us virtually. We appreciate you. All right. So you're a youth leader for nutrition and a World Food Forum champion. You represented Malawi, your country, in multiple events such as TIC 87, the Mandela Global Citizen Festival, and many others. You are also the vice chair of the United Nations Food System Summit's Action Track 5, and you are currently leading youth nutrition projects in Malawi, empowering youth to become nutrition champions. That's amazing, Mike. Thank you for your work. Can we get a round of applause for Mike?
Thank you, thank you.
We're sending you love and appreciation from here. Mike, can you tell us what drives you to work for better nutrition in Malawi and the impact you see of your work and your actions?
Well, thanks so much, and I would love to be there, but quite unfortunate. And but I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be a very fruitful event. Well, in the first place, I see young people as the real drivers, as the real deal, because in a couple of times, I've engaged young people in my work and they've shown tremendous skills in terms of improving food systems as well as nutrition. So back in 2018, when I started my own initiative of engaging young people in nutrition platforms, The only worry that I had by then was that a lot of initiative, nutrition projects, nutrition interventions from international organizations in the country were basically focusing on women under 5. But my initial thinking was, you know what, most of the time when we focus at women, perhaps under 5 young children, we tend to leave the gap, which is very good, which is the young people. Definitely 2, 3 years, or maybe a couple of years from that time, there'll be the one leading change in the household. There'll be mothers, there'll be fathers. So if we target them at that particular period, then we'll be assured of sustainable change. So that was my initial project. So I started this initiative with some couple of friends in my country, and we worked with young people. We trained them, we give them the nutrition information, and at the same time, they really showed impact because they were able to do the thing that we are telling them to do. And as a matter of fact, they also had to implement some of the nutrition interventions, conducting awareness initiatives, things like that. So that was highly maybe focusing on undernutrition. But now we see a very global burden of non-communicable disease because of overweight and obesity, and which is perhaps accounting to a lot of death in the communities, which is very, very shocking because one key reason which I found out in most of the communities in my country is that because now processed food, as one of the speakers said, they're almost everywhere. You know, people in the communities who are consuming a lot of indigenous food in my country and some neighboring countries, they're now adopting these ultra-processed food, which are highly sugary and the like. And that is the reason why the global burden of maybe non-communicable disease will be very, very huge when compared to addressing undernutrition. So my focus, perhaps, as I go back, because I'm studying currently in the UK, is to develop interventions, how I will strongly engage young people to fight against NCDs. So I was fortunate, of course, enough at the global level to be part of the leading this huge youth initiative, Act for Food, Act for Change. And the good thing, which I might say that, you know, without taking into consideration the Food System Summit, but the Act for Food, Act for Change youth initiative, young people developed robust actions for change, actions which aimed at improving our food systems across all levels, talking of climate change, talking of food availability and the like, which was really important. And as of now, it's quite important to understand that we have reached to millions of people signing for the pledge, and a lot of young people have also committed to take up these actions into implementation. And the Food System Summit, which I was kind of like the vice chair for Action Track 5, building food systems resilience to vulnerability, shocks, and stress, it was quite important to see that after I was the vice chair, I engaged young people from different countries. We kind of like formed another platform under the Action Track 5, and we called the Youth Resilience Team, and we're able to discuss how we're going to improve food system resilience in our countries, which was very important, looking to different young people from Kenya, from all across the world, coming together to see how best we can improve our food systems and nutrition. So maybe without taking much of time, I have one key messages which I want to highlight here. That is the World Food Forum event, which is the second flagship event this year, should be maybe a key opportunity for us to interact. And we should maybe continue to use the same initiative in our countries because I see that the problems which we are facing currently today is because people who are now into policies, they never work together. An agriculture expert would develop agriculture policies without considering climate. That's why we're facing huge problems today. So as young people who are leaders of change, we need to work together starting from now. Let us come together, despite we are working on gender, climate change, nutritional or food systems. It's better we connect right now, we co-create our solutions, we develop policies together so that the future, our next generation should not be worried that we had people who never worked for us. We had people who never developed policies that were considerate of other issues happening. So these are my key messages which I wanted to highlight. Thanks so much, and over to you, Rachel.
Thank you so much, Mike. So you're saying we should have a World Food Forum in all of the countries. I'm here for it. World Food Forum Malawi sounds like a vibe. Just putting it out there. All right, here with me we also have Alessia, Eric, and one half of Elefante Veg. The other half is in the audience, so they're here. Healthy diets advocates and new World Food Forum champions. Alessia, Eric, in the audience. It's a pleasure
Eric
to meet you. Where is he?
He's right there.
Hey, Eric!
Filming.
It's such a pleasure to meet you. You launched your project Elefante Veg in 2018, a blog on plant-based recipes with the mission of educating people to enjoy healthy, more natural, and delicious food. My favorite. Healthy and delicious? Sign me up. Your content has reached more than 350,000 people on social media, and you are working every day to bring positive change amongst your viewers, sharing how healthy and joyful a plant-based diet can be. You also hold online courses and cooking classes across Italy, including schools and in companies. Whew. Please tell us some more. Can you walk us through how you came about developing content? I know a lot of people want to be content creators, have a vlog. How do you see this content making a difference in the diets and lives of people globally, if it is?
Yeah, so thank you, Rachel, for the introduction. Thank you, everybody, to host us, who have us here today. It's a big honor to be here because we love the idea of giving voice to plant-based diets. I think it's crucial to open a dialogue about it in this forum. And so, yeah, answering your question, we changed our diet and went plant-based in 2016. Ooh. And we just started because we started asking questions about food, okay? And we discovered that eating plants was good for our bodies, for biodiversity, for animals, and for the planet. And by eating plants, I don't mean only salad, okay? I mean much, much more. And yeah, the proof of that is our website. We have, I think, more than 300 recipes, fully plant-based, so that is the proof. So, yeah, when we changed our diet, we are from Italy, and so in Italy is all prosciutto and carbonara, and so when we said to our families and friends, okay, we want to go plant-based, they were like, why? Why would you do that? Prosciutto is so good. Why are you just wanted to eat the grass on the ground, because this is the normal idea? And so I must admit that at the beginning was difficult and strange, but we discovered that eating plant-based was so abundant and meant eating really delicious food, and again, abundant. And so we started feeling the mission inside our hearts, and so we took cooking classes and also nutrition courses to really get and be prepared to start our project, so Elefante Veg. And yeah, today what we do is educating people through also the help of dietitians and other professionals to educate people about really, really practical things. So a lot of people want to go plant-based, but they don't know where to start. So what we teach is basically on social media and through online courses, what we teach is what to eat when you want to go plant-based, how to cook, because that is really practical, and how to get organized in the kitchen. All of this with a deep feeling of joy and abundance, okay? And not deprivation like a lot of people think when they think about plant-based diet. And yeah, we think this is so powerful because, again, a lot of people are ready to change, would love to change, but they don't know where to start. So what we do is just giving them the direction and the right information using social media that is so powerful in this moment, and reaching a lot of people with this message. And yeah, if I can leave a message today to everybody here, is just that, okay, it's no secret that dairy and meat consumption, overconsumption, are harmful for our bodies, our biodiversity, our animals, and our planet. And so I'm totally aware that not everybody on the planet can go fully plant-based. Maybe also a lot of people cannot even go 50% plant-based, and that's totally fine, okay? But I'm speaking here to those really privileged people, like we are here. We are privileged to be here and to speak, and I'm really privileged to be here and speak to you today. And so I'm asking all of you to take just a step, okay? Maybe going fully plant-based seems very difficult, and that's, yeah, difficult. But we can all make a step, not to eliminate all dairy and meat consumption, but at least reducing it. Okay, so because I think it's more powerful if we do, if 1,000 people do just one step, it's more powerful than maybe 10 people doing 100 steps forward, right? So if we all do take just one step, all together, we can really change things, and we also expect change from institutions, practical changes and support, because, as I said, we talk every day with a lot of people thanks to social media, and people, young people are ready to change, want to change. We only need support and right information. So yeah, one step at a time, I believe we can do this great change to a healthier diet and a healthier planet. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Alessia and Eric in the audience. Shout out to you. Maybe our first step could be checking out your website or following you online. I know I'm inspired, and I will be checking out those recipes. Hungry. Thanks for sharing all of that with us.
Thank you.
Our next guest is the one and only Jim Leandro Cano from the Philippines. Hi, Jim. As an agripreneur, researcher, trainer, and co-author for the high-level panel of experts report for promoting youth engagement and employment in agriculture and food systems. Yes, he's very, very busy. You are a local change maker and have been working on empowering youth in your community for several years. You must have seen and experienced many things. Could you tell us a bit more on all your work, and also how is the food and climate crisis translated in the Philippines? Has that affected your work at all?
Yeah, thanks, Rachel. And clearly, it's an honor to be here with you and everybody else that we've seen ourselves face to face. I mean, online only in the past
Forever.
year, and so this is really for me a one of those feather on the hats, right? With the report that we wrote on promoting youth engagement, that really came out from my experience back when we started youth advocacy or youth in agriculture advocacy in the Philippines in 2015, where I was invited to go into conferences, and you'd see that there were only 2 young people in the room, and you'd see all of these older, much older people talking about youth, what youth should get, and I'm like, young people should say what they need and what they want, right? And not being talked to about like, this is what you need. And that it really stemmed from that kind of point of view. And so that passion just drove into us working together with conferences and looking at how do we increase youth participation, youth voice in these policies, because the policies that shape the future of food will determine the kind of environment in which young people live in. And young people need to be part of that discussion. Young people need to be part of that table. And so that's what we've focused our work in on. And really that came to be, and it really galvanized it when we wrote the report on HLPE. And, when we said, just very briefly, talking about the rights, agency, and equity, and recognizing young people as foundations of having them access opportunities. And I think that's very important that we recognize that, because many times, even in the food and agriculture discussions, we always tend to say young people should be on this side of the discussion of, putting it bluntly, be it organic, biotech, conventional, whatever. And I feel like in our discussions in the Philippines with our peers and our group, it's always been, what I've always put on the table is that young people need to have the right to make the choice, not to be dictated to like what kind of food system they want to. And of course, we promote better environments,
Yes.
but we also respect the context in which they are in, because they know what they need in their own specific context. But in my work, and now translating that into the work that I do on the ground, working with a natural fertilizer group, we're promoting agroecological approaches to producing rice, to producing corn, and we're using geological resources for that, and we're using biocontrol agents, fungi that would, control pests in the field. So reducing the use of synthetic inputs in the production of food, I think, is very crucial. If we want to say healthy diets, healthy planets, I think there's a prequel to that of safe and healthy production of food, right? I think that goes hand in hand with that. And so going to the context of the Philippines, it's very crucial to see how these kinds of food production systems also need to be protected, or at least even the welfare of young people in these systems need to be protected when we talk about climate change. Because in the past month, typhoons have ravaged the rice production fields. And we see videos on social media where farmers are saying, we would have harvested this already in 2 weeks' time, but all was gone. And you can imagine the young people in those areas. And my own colleague in another startup has a rice field, and she took a video, and she was walking around the rice field, and she was saying, we were supposed to harvest this next week, and everything was lost. You could imagine the rice grains were just all over the area, and it was already in the mud and all and that. And I think what we need when we talk about youth participation and youth right is to also create that enabling environment. And when we talk about enabling environment, it's also putting policies that will protect the welfare of young people in the event of climate change impacts or events where calamities come in, and there should be some kind of insurance, social protection, and all of these things that help protect young people so that they can get back on and go forward. Because if we don't put that environment in, young people are most vulnerable to these kinds of impacts. So in a nutshell, what I've really focused in on is youth participation, youth policies that are for youth, by youth, with youth, and that really protecting them with for these kinds of shocks, especially climate change. And after what we've seen in the pandemic, young people are at risk in these kinds of situations. So my key message probably to the people here is that let's find ways to make young people the priority. When we talk about young people, don't talk about young people without young people. Like my colleagues would say, nothing about us without us. So yes. Thanks, Rachel.
Whew. Thank you, Jim. Healthy production, healthy diet, healthy planet. Love that. Jim, I always love to hear you share with us and tell us about all these super important projects that you're engaged in. Thank you for doing all of this important work. I'm turning now to Daniela Riojas. Daniela, you are a ceremonialist, medicine keeper, and a musician, also very busy. I see everybody's busy. Your indigenous ancestry is connected to the, you're going to have to help me pronounce it. Pronounce it for me.
The Coahuiltecans.
Coahuiltecans of northern Mexico, as well as the Mexica. As a medicine keeper, you commune with Mother Nature through ancestral practices of channeling, and you have undergone trainings and initiations with indigenous elders who have been guiding you in the process of facilitation and healing in a ceremonial space. You have been under the guidance of elders in Nayarit, Mexico, as well as elders of the jungles of Peru, who are Cocama, Grand Maestra Aime, Shipibo, Maestro Bawan Kate, Ashaninka, Maestro Charini, and Mestizo, Maestro Camara Ampi Shirapa. You are the founder of, help me again.
Inticana.
Inticana Medicina. You have been traveling extensively throughout North and South America, facilitating plant and animal medicines and creating ceremonial healing spaces for many communities and many different countries and lands. Thank you for that. Daniela, I would love for you to tell us more about this. Can you share about these ceremonies and their importance in connection to our theme, Healthy Diets, Healthy Planet, as well as in terms of the legacy of your indigenous heritage?
Thank you so much for that introduction. It's such an honor to be here with such powerful people. Thank you all so much for the work you're doing as well. So yes, these practices, these indigenous practices that I've been in very deep study with for the last about 7 years, have been very illuminating in terms of when we're working in ceremonial space, we get to really see and peer into the makeup of every single person that we work with. And that includes their physical makeup, their mental makeup, their emotional, and also their spiritual. One of the first things that we ask people to do whenever they're wanting to step into these really powerful ceremonial spaces and undergo great healing and on all of these levels is to first go through a very rigorous process of changing their diet. And that's a requirement that has been passed on through the traditions that I've been working with. Most of them are coming from the Peruvian traditions, a lot that were mentioned here. And in these Peruvian traditions, the indigenous people for many, many, many years, for many generations, have already known and bridged the gap between how the diet and the physical makeup and what we're putting into our body has a direct effect on our emotional well-being, our spiritual well-being, and also our mental well-being. And so when people are wanting to go through these healing processes, we have to start taking them through the steps of cleaning themselves and having a real clear understanding that by changing their diet first as a requirement, that's exactly how all of these plants and these animals and the healing process is actually going to go deeply within every facet of a human being and facilitate the full transformation that most folks are looking for. And there's so many different ailments that we see, ranging from diseases, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, any kind of physical pain that's been chronic and going on for a long time, inflammation, then to a lot of different mental and emotional imbalances. And usually, folks are just wanting to start with one imbalance. And what we find when they start going through their healing process is that it's connected to all kinds of other facets of their life. So if, for instance, they come in with chronic pain, and that is inflammation that's built up in their body. Once we start to change their diet and then start to serve them certain kinds of plants and other kinds of medicines that are able to work within all of these different facets, their physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. When we start to pinpoint into one aspect of what their imbalance is, we start to understand that it's connected to everything. So it may be that they went through a traumatic experience in their life when they were a child and they never fully processed those emotions, and that experience is still embedded into their physical being. And that in itself is affecting their mental capacities and also their emotional well-being. And it is time and time again that we see that everything is connected. So it makes it that much more important for us to be very well trained in these indigenous and ancestral ways so that we are able to guide people safely through these processes and also help facilitate the true transformation and bring in the context that if we have one aspect of ourselves that feels imbalanced, there's a very real possibility that it's connected to many other facets, usually emotional, usually energetic. It's been incredibly humbling to be a part of these indigenous legacies, them passing these traditional ways onto me, and as a healer, being able to understand how nature, especially in the Amazon in Peru, is abundant with so many medicines. A lot of people refer to the Amazon as the pharmacy of the world, and it's very true. We have an abundance of plants and different even animals that are able to cure many, many kinds of diseases. And the most beautiful thing that I get to witness as well is that these indigenous keepers are protecting the lands in the Amazon as well. And so as people come to us to undergo whatever kind of healing that they are needing to undergo, they're also helping to support the communities of these indigenous people who are also protecting the lands there and is helping to keep their traditions alive. All of it is connected to ecology preservation and consciousness that's elevated and in tune with the necessity of building healthy relationships with nature, tuning into nature, listening to her, and understanding how we can be in coexistence with her on much more deeper levels. So a part of this huge work is that I take groups down to Peru and I allow them to experience what it is to live with these medicine keepers, these indigenous people who are deeply connected with the earth, and that in itself helps people to transform the way that they're relating to nature and bring that back home and hopefully change their lives and their families' lives and all of that. So, thank you.
That's amazing. I love how she ended like, yeah, so that's basically what I do, no big deal. It's a huge deal. When we say healthy diets, healthy planet, we're not just talking about your guttural health, your physical health, it's your emotional, your mental, your spiritual health. And I think, honestly, me, myself, I wasn't even thinking that deeply about it, but you're completely right. So thank you for sharing that. Super important. Thank you all for joining us, for sharing your stories, and for the difference that you all are making every single day to so many people around the world. We need you and we appreciate you. I loved hearing all of these testimonies. I hope all of you in the audience did too. Did you enjoy it? Yeah? Okay, great. Whew. So our time together is almost up, and soon we will invite you to go and enjoy all the activities proposed throughout the week. Connect, network, learn, share. I'm learning so much already, and I just love it. But first, before we get to that, I want to invite Kazuki Kitauka, the WFF World Food Forum Global Coordinator, and Michelle Seck, Global Youth Action Coordinator for the World Food Forum, some of the masterminds behind this week who have worked tirelessly to bring us all together here today. Michelle is here to tell you more about which activities you can expect to take part in this week. I will leave her on the floor. Go ahead. Can we borrow your mic?
Thank you, Rachel, and thank you everyone here. So as the Youth Action Coordinator lead, working day in and day out with young people, and as shown today by all the panelists and speakers, it is clear that youth has the ideas, the passion, the knowledge, and the hope to transform our agri-food systems. It is a matter of just being engaged, being heard, and having our needs being acted upon. This week is a dedication to us young people and how we have been championing the future vision for agri-food systems. We are surrounded by young people of different backgrounds, realities, and perspectives, but also youth allies who are ready and willing to work with us. It is a moment for sharing, exchanging, and networking, as Bev has said earlier, and is a full and World Food Forum, as you know, is organized in different tracks so that we may engage with different backgrounds, and this is translated to the full week of various activities for everyone to engage in. No matter your background, we have 4 full days of youth action assemblies, which is a safe space for us to discuss our needs and our priorities in what we want to see and what we need to be acted upon. We have the finals of the innovation challenges of research and startups showing the promising solutions that youth has come up with, a school assembly gathering school children to engage in food and agricultural topics to create a systematic change that we need in our school systems, and a whole variety of side events and exhibitions to be explored outside. We have indigenous peoples here today with us, the guardians of our biodiversity from all corners of the globe, to share their heritage and practices and perspectives with all of us to better understand their needs as well. Not to mention that all the fun and cultural activities and arts by young people, filling FAO this week with all the creativity and energy that we need as well. And I just pass it to Kazuki.
Thanks so much, Michelle. I'm going a little bit off script, so sorry to the regie. But Michelle, first of all, I would like to actually introduce you, because I'm not sure if everybody has actually met you before. And yes, this is Michelle. She's the coordinator of all of the youth action activities of the World Food Forum. And yes, I think a huge applause to you for all of the work that has been done already over the last year, bringing together a youth assembly, bringing together different groups, focal points around the world, discussions that have been leading to this point that we are now in the World Food Forum Flagship Event 2022. And we, of course, we hope that all of you who are watching around the world, we saw thousands of people yesterday on the platform, so we really want you to participate also from now in the different platforms, in all of those assemblies that Michelle has been mentioning. Your contribution is as important to us as the contribution of those who were able to travel here to Rome and be here in presence. So, and thanks very much for being with us. But of course, acknowledging also all of those who are here with us, and very much those who have been working with us over the last year, doing workshops and exhibitions and all kinds of other activities together with the World Food Forum team. And it wouldn't have been possible without. And really, let me go to all of those different groups, and they're actually here on my script in order not to forget the most important ones, being the Young Professionals for Agricultural Development, YPART. YPART are also outside here for those who are physically here with a booth, and they have a big delegation, so make sure that you're getting in contact. Also the International Association for Agriculture and Related Science, IAS, they are also here with a really big delegation, so make sure you're getting in contact. The Lexicon, these are the crowd that are going to introduce this afternoon the new food system video game, really exciting. We have a beta version of that ready, and we would like to test that with some of you. So if you would like to, and unfortunately that is only possible for those who are here in Rome, but if you would like to test this brand new video game that is going to look at the food systems, please let us know, please let Michelle know, and you'll be able to be part of the small testing group. And we really would like to use this game to bring the issues of agri-food systems, climate, social issues, diet, and so on, closer to those who perhaps are not always in the kind of fora that we are all sitting in, and just want to play a game, and through playing this game, learn about our food systems. We also have the young UN Global Association Labs, which are outside, Junga, and Wageningen University, that has been working very closely with us on the side of innovation. Also the Extreme Tech Challenge, a big partner of innovation, as well as, of course, last but not least, the FAO offices around the world, as well as here our colleagues at headquarters who have been really working and sponsoring us here, both in terms of the beautiful facilities that we have received, as well as also travel and several other possibilities. I heard yesterday some criticism about the catering, but please be nice to them. They're really doing their best as well to cater for so many people coming in. So with all of that, sorry for being a bit lengthy, Michelle. I know you hate when I'm going over schedule, but I think that was really necessary. Thanks again to you, and looking forward to a lot of amazing discussions this week. Thank you.
Thank you, Kazuki and Michelle, for all your hard work. Michelle, we've been seeing you running around here, putting the work. Also, I want to try the video game, okay? He said, let you know. All right, great. This is all very exciting, and I can't wait to take part in all of these sessions that they just described. Participants, I invite you to take good note and check the week's agenda, to find all the activities you want to engage in. Try everything, do everything, meet everyone if you can. Before the end, we have a little surprise for you. Our lovely Daniela was just up here with us that you met before. Will join us again on stage. You ready? For a musical performance. I hope you all enjoy it. Daniela.
Thank you. That's good. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm going to share a song today. This is a song that I wrote on a diet. So I think it's such a beautiful and perfect way to wrap up this session that was talking so deeply on the importance of diet. And diet in the traditions that I've been working in, this is a part of our training. So they're called diets or dietas. And we basically spend a lot of time isolated in the jungles and commune very deeply with nature. And through this communion with nature, we start to receive the wisdom of the plants and the animals so that we can help people in ceremonial space. And a big way that we help people in ceremonial space is by playing music and song and singing healing songs for people as they're going through their healing processes. And this is a song that I wrote that I received. So I'm going to have you guys sing along with me as well during the chorus. It's a very easy chorus, or at least I think so. And the words are Todo es amor, and that's the name of the song as well. In Spanish, this means and translates to everything is love or all is love. So if you can repeat that back to me real quick, it's todo es amor. One more time, todo es amor. Beautiful. You'll start to hear me sing this part in the chorus, and you can just follow along with the melody. It doesn't matter if you are singing the right notes or the wrong notes, as long as you're opening your heart and allowing yourself to express yourself.
Abriendo mi corazón como las flores.
Gracias.
Gracias a ti, Daniela. Todo es amor. I need the mixtape or something to drop soon. iTunes. Thank you, everyone, for being here to kick off the day. I know everyone's feeling excited and a little bit calm. Now I'm feeling super calm at the moment. But get ready to go out, network, enjoy the sessions. We appreciate you. Those of you who are online, we miss you, we love you, we wish you were here. Network amongst each other as well. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you for the activists, and to all of you, to the youth, for doing such impactful and necessary work. We will see you soon. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.